Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I have another powerful message. So, I was led to Joshua 6, and I'm going to begin reading it, and then we're going to break it down from there, okay? So, Joshua 6, the fall of Jericho. Now, Jericho was shut up inside and out because of the people of Israel. No one went out, and no one came in. And the Lord said to Joshua, See, I have given Jericho into your hand with its king and mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city of men of war, going around the city once. Thus shall you do this for 6 days. 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. On the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. When they make a long blast with the ram's horns, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, then all the people shall shout a great shout, and the walls of the city will fall flat, and the people shall stand tall before them. Now, you guys know, if you checked out the message yesterday, do not fear, mourn, or grieve. That's the beginning of the title. I talked about all about the importance of 7 and numerology and how divine Holy Spirit talks to us in codes, like just throughout our whole life, and we just have to have the eye and the discernment to understand what is being given to us. So you notice 7 was mentioned like 4 or 5 times in this text. But the message here, before I was led to Joshua 6, I heard Father Abba say, fall down the walls of Jericho. So I had Googled, I'm like, what is this? And then it led me to Joshua 6, which talks about the fall of Jericho. I received this message in the early morning. I'm like, the walls of Jericho. And then I looked it up and it led me to Joshua 6. So what this is talking about, this is a continuation message. And that was Joshua chapter 6, verse 1 through 5. It's a continuation of the message I put out yesterday. This is judgment season. Like, there's nothing that can be done. Nothing that can be done within human power or bending of free will. Nothing can be done to stop this judgment season from occurring across the collective, okay? And what they're talking about in this passage, it's very key instructions, just like divine Holy Spirit gives us very key, detailed, specific instructions of how to overcome the war, how to defeat it, how to come out on top. And this is the same thing here. And it requires for us to be diligent and steadfast, separate from others, to commune with Father Abba in order to hear our individual call, what we're supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be digesting, whether that's food, energy, outside sources, communications, whatever, what we're supposed to be digesting, the people who we're supposed to be aware of at this time, where we should be in the moment of the time when judgment is called. This goes down to your individual daily dealings with people. Again, I am being reminded of fasting. If you have been avoiding your fasting, please stop avoiding your fasting, because fasting is imperative to hear your direct, clear, discerning orders and guidance from divine Holy Spirit. I and people like myself can only guide you so far. We all have an individual connection with Father Abba, and we all have individual customized instructions of what to do in our lives, and depending on the circumstances and the people that are involved. And also, why it requires for us to be diligent and steadfast and to separate ourselves from other and to be closer with Father Abba at this time, meditating, prayer. And yesterday's message, booths was brought up, and booths is like a sanctuary, a confessional, where you have a private sector, wherever that private sector is for you, in the shower, in your car, a hidden place at your job. Go there as often as you can to connect with God so you can receive the downloads. For some of you, you're thinking as soon as you do it, you're going to get the answer. No, it doesn't always work like that. You sit in solitude with God, and that's why they're called downloads. You will have it uploaded to the forefront of your mind when it is time for you to move in a certain way. It's just that it's downloads, information, messages, discernment that is downloading into your spirit. So when the appointed time comes, you already have that data within your vessel. Now you just have to use it as you are being asked to individually, okay? And also, this judgment and being diligent and sitting still with Father Abba and separating ourselves from people, it also gives us the next instructions of what to do after the judgment, after the sound of trumpets, after the walls metaphorically fall in our life. Those walls represent any stronghold that was placed on you, family, friends, romance, generational strongholds. They are breaking. Those walls are falling. I'm hearing Break Every Chain by Tasha Cobb. Yes, Break Every Chain. That's a very powerful gospel song. There's power in words. This is the individual walls falling for us individually. The walls of Jericho is falling in our personal life and our family dynamics as a collective, which will then be as a whole, the entire collective. As we do it individually, everything is happening all at once, but it's happening individually in our lives and our family. We are under a tremendous amount of pressure and spiritual warfare at this time. And that's also why it's so important for you to commune closely with God at this time, praying for spiritual strength, for endurance, for the clarity of your mind and the purification of your heart every day. I get on my knees and I pray every morning and every day to purify my mind, my body, and my heart for whatever this day may entail. Every day and night. This is something, and not just for this moment, this is something that you should do for your entire life, because we're always in a degree of spiritual warfare, but this right here, this is the heaviest, because this is breaking those walls down in our bloodline, standing the enemy that's in our bloodline right in their face, unwavered, unbothered, unpersuaded. For some of you, you have these family members and these close friends that you view as family that's circling back around. I'm hearing like a hornet, like wasps and bees, like just circling around, because you are the honey. You are the honey. And also in the book of Joshua, it talks about that. Going from barren land, I think it's like in chapter 5, it's like going from barren land into the land of milk and honey. We are the milk and honey. We are the prosperity. We are the thing that's nourishing our bloodline in the world as a whole. And you have these family and friends that you view as family circling back around, trying to see where they can fit in, where they can slither in and slip into the cracks of you not doing what you have to do. For some of you, you're going to have to tell these people in your life that you simply cannot be a part of it. And you don't have to make up an excuse if they ask you why, because God instructed me to. Like, this is not a time to innuendos, reading between the lines, and no, this is a time of direct and clear order and communication. Towards the end of that message I put out yesterday, it said joining a solemn gathering. And what solemn means is a formal and dignified manner. There's nothing to be played about at this time. For some of you, you're debating whether or not you should attend or be a part of something. The answer is no, you should not. Use your discernment and separate yourself from these hidden enemies and open enemies. You know exactly who they are, and this is your confirmation. They're going to ask you why. They're going to accuse you of being funny and antisocial, and it's not that. You tell them it's spiritual. I am obeying God's orders in my life, and nothing else comes before the instructions that have been given to me by God. Okay, this is a very, very important time. There's a lot of pressure on the collective as a whole. Please pray for spiritual strength and endurance, because the way that things are set up now, it can be the smallest thing that you wouldn't even trip on in any other season. But this small, insignificant thing, it has the potential to like just break you. Like your back is like so far, so up against the wall. Like if you get one more, you feel as though if you get pushed like just one more time that the wall is going to come down. But it's two different walls. You are being asked to hold your wall of strength and endurance up, because the wall that is coming down is the wall of the enemy. Do not allow these enemies through the lower vessels of our family and friends and people who are close to us on a daily basis. Do not allow that energy to confuse you about which wall is crumbling and which wall is steadfast. You are the wall that is steadfast. The wall around these people are the walls that is crumbling. Remember who you are, and remember what wall you are against and what strength you have on that wall. You're going to be pushed to the limit in this season. But remember, your wall cannot break. Your wall is fortified with the promise of the ark. And those of you who are not familiar with what the ark is like a sacred box covered in gold, and it has like 2 wings. It reminds me of my yacht. It has 2 wings, and supposedly in the ark it contains the original 10 commandments written on stone by Moses, this thing called manna, which was bread that was fed to the Israelites when they were in the wilderness, and I forget what else is in it, but it's like a very sacred box. And your promises, your wall is built on the promises of that ark. So please, 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 steadfast, pray. I'm going to put in the community tab a powerful spiritual warfare prayer, and you should play it, because it's like this spiritual warfare. These people are so close. We're talking literal family, literal co-workers, literal lifelong friends. And you have to remember, it's not the person, it's the spirit that has taken over the vessel. But nonetheless, this is Judgment Day, and it requires for you to be diligent and to be aware for when you are to hear your individual call. All right. And again, that song Tasha Cobbs, like I just keep hearing it, break every chain. All right. Mana, love, and light to you all. Somewhat it be, and I'll see you later.